wood handles, okay, brass rivets. They will have a full tank, which is good. They will have stainless steel. So we automatically know it has to be resharpened after every use. They are not DWS, what's that stand for? They're not dishwasher safe, and there's no guarantee. I'll tell you, Chicago cutlery's been around for a while. In fact, they used to have a guarantee very similar to ours. They used to have a guarantee that said if anything happens to it, we'll replace it, and if it ever needs sharpening, we'll sharpen it for free. This is back in the 50s when the company first came about, okay? What happened is this. This is obviously, it's kind of like, you know how people used to think that smoking was okay, and then eventually they started doing studies and realized it was unhealthy for you? Well, back in the 50s, people didn't know how unsanitary the wood was. Does that make sense to you guys? So it wasn't until later in the 60s when they started doing the studies and outlawing them for restaurant use. So back in the 50s, they said, hey, if you ever need this resharpened, we'll do it, send it in to us for free. And if you ever need it replaced, we'll replace it for you for free as well. But this is before all the studies. Well, then the wood starts rotting, then the steel goes bad, right? And everybody's sending their stuff in about 10 years later. And everybody started sending their stuff in. And literally, the company almost went bankrupt. With a name like Chicago Cutlery, where do you think it's made? It's made in China. It used to be made in Chicago. But when everybody sent their stuff in, they literally almost went bankrupt. And they had to move everything over to China. They said, no more guarantee, we can't guarantee this product anymore. And now they make everything from China. And all they did was keep the name. That's it. That's what you get for your mid-range stuff. Okay? That's your mid-range quality of knives. Now, where you're going to find these are going to be places like department stores, right? A Sears, a Belk, a Dillard's. Department stores. You guys get this? Parisian, Colonial. Department stores. Macy's. Department stores. Alright, I want to talk to you guys about department stores for a second. What does a department store specialize in? Nothing. It's a glorified Walmart. It is a nicer version of Walmart. You understand? A department store is a place where you can get a little bit of everything. At a Walmart, right? At a Walmart, you can buy polo shirts. They're called Cherokees, right? At a department store, you get the Ralph Lauren polo. Now, it's not Gucci. It's not Versace. It's not Dior, Louis Vuitton. It's not the designer stuff. But it's a heck of a lot better than what comes from Walmart. Does that make sense? At the department store, they don't sell Rolex. But they do sell nicer stuff than you'd find at a Walmart in terms of watches. Does that make sense to you? Think about the colognes, think about the clothes, think about the shoes, think about the bedding stuff. It's a lot nicer than Walmart, but it's not the best of the best of the best. It's your middle-of-the-road, mid-range type deal. Does that make sense? Now, if we're thinking about middle-of-the-road, middle range, and stuff like that, those kind of things are obviously, if you see something at a department store, are you expecting that it's going to be more or less than something from Walmart? Sure. And so a set is going to be more. A set from a department store is going to be about $500 to $600 from a department store. Now again, I am pretty positive you guys do not know the price of knives coming in here, so I share this with you because, hey, I want you to be aware of what stuff actually costs. Remember, this is so much more insignificant in terms of pricing than a fridge or some of the other necessities that you find around the home. Does that make sense? But have you guys ever noticed in our economy that when something is twice as good, offers twice the quality, twice the value, twice the features, what do you expect to pay in price? Yeah, twice the price, right? That's like a Kia versus a Lexus. Keds versus Nike Air Jordans, right? Coach purse versus Louis Vuitton, okay? The Cherokee polos versus the Ralph Lauren polos. You know, the Payless shoes versus the Kenneth Cole or whatever it is that you got. You understand what I'm saying? And so it's like, okay, Walmart, department store, twice the features, twice the price. Does that make sense? You guys follow with me? Okay, it's like the MP3 player from Walmart versus the iPod. It's better. It has better features. It costs more. Any questions on your mid-range knives? Okay, then the last one that we're going to move on to here is going to be your quality knives. And in terms of quality knives, okay, in terms of your quality knives, I would say that the most popular brand that you will find is a company called Hinkles or Wusthof. A company called Hinkles or Wusthof. They are one and the same. They are one and the same. This is a Hinkles knife right here. Okay? Real quick, Gerald, if you could do me a favor, go ahead and hold this one, right? Now hold this one. Tell me about the weight difference here. I mean, this is like a pretty heavy-duty piece, isn't it? This is a Hinkles knife. I want to tell you about Hinkles and Wusthof. Hinkles is their straight-edge version, and Wusthof is their serrated edge version, okay? Hinkles and Wusthof, this is like the top brand of knives that you can buy in stores. Now, Cutco's not sold in stores, so that's why we're not putting Cutco up here. We're just talking about what's sold in stores right now, okay? I want to talk to you guys about Hinkles for a second. This is it. This is our competition. We don't compete with Walmart. We don't compete with this, you know, this wooden handle stuff, nothing like that. The Hinkles and Wusthof are generally what we compete with the most, okay? In terms of sales. Now, they're not going to cut the rope in one stroke. They don't slice the leather. They don't have shears that cut through pennies. You know, they don't have a guarantee. They're not dishwasher safe, no handle, no edge, all that kind of stuff. But in terms of sales, this is probably who we're competing with at the highest level. Their handles are not made out of a cheap plastic like you would find at a Walmart. This right here is what's called polypropylene. This is a very heavy-duty type of plastic. It's not thermoresin. It's not a dishwasher-safe material, but it's a heck of a lot better than what you get at Walmart. Everybody with me? These rivets, these are not brass rivets. You can see it right there. They use nickel, silver rivets just like we do. You notice metal here, metal there, metal on behind. They do use a full tang instruction. This is not stainless steel. They use surgical steel just like we do. This is not a bad product. I'm not here to bash knives. I'm here to train you on what's out there. Does that make sense? However, what I will tell you is as far as the similarities go, that's really where it ends. But just looking at this knife, you can already tell this is much better than anything else we've shown you so far that comes from a store, yes or no? Just based on the materials, right? Now, Hinkles is an interesting product because, like I said, although they make their stuff high quality, that means it'll last, but in terms of performance, they don't have the double D edge, so you still have to resharpen it after every use. It's not dishwasher safe. You got to wash them all by hand. There's no guarantee. Their guarantee says basically if you buy it and it's already broken, that's the only way that you get your money back. Is that a real guarantee, folks? No, because they're probably not going to put it out unless it's already unless it's in good shape. Does that make sense? They don't have the patented handle. Their knives aren't museums, and in fact, we outsold Hinkles last year by $160 million. We outsold Hinkles by $160 million. But remember, Cutco's not sold in stores. So if you went to a store and you said, "Show me what you got," you've got three options: the good, the bad, and the ugly. Does that make sense? And that's all you got. So if somebody goes to a store and they don't know Cutco exists, what do you think they're traditionally going to buy? A lot of Hinkles, right? That's why it's our biggest competitor, if you will. We don't compete in terms of, hey, they cut the rope one stroke and so do we. You know, they slice leather and so do we. It's, hey, this is what's sold in the store and This is what's out there, okay? So let me just write these on the board. Again, their handles are made from what is called poly